Hey guys, we're back. I guess we'll do a part 2 on this Cowie now. Mel's with me in the shop today, doing a bunch of photos and stuff for our website. We're gonna try and release some more products, but we figured since it's done, we might as well do part 2 because part 1 was uploaded a little while ago.
And it's leaving today, so this is really our only option.
Yep, Mason's on his way to pick it up. So we've got it on the scales right now because a lot of people ask, well, how much does the cage weigh? How much do the rockers weigh? He wanted steel skid plates, so we did steel skids on the whole bottom, steel rockers. New cage, dropped it. I think it was 3 inches because he's a bigger guy. So he's got 12 inches of headroom from the seat to the roof. And then we also did the full shock therapy spring kit and then D3, my own internal valving inside the shocks for him. So the suspension's all set up. For the extra weight, he hauls everything in the back. He carries a lot of stuff. So I guess to start off, a lot of people always want to know how much weight is added on these when you put all this on. So I did weigh it previously, and I think that was in the first video. So now we're at 2320, and if my memory's correct, before when it was stock, it weighed 2120. So everything we've done added exactly 200 pounds from stock weight to this. So that's full steel skids, full steel rockers, full steel, bigger, heavier duty cage, and metal
That
roof.
is not too bad.
That's not that bad, no.
In the grand scheme of things, I feel like 200 pounds on one of these machines really doesn't make a huge difference, especially if you're going to be doing the shock tuning and you account for that. So
yeah, it's like having another person in the rig.
Yeah,
like
another adult.
Yeah.
Just don't carry another adult.
Yeah. Small children only.
So yeah.
So yeah, I think in the first video I showed you the insides of the shocks. I was working on the shocks and talked about the valving and how they work a bit. So I'm gonna have him sit in it today. We're gonna double check the preloads and stuff for the ride height that I want. You have to do that with your weight. Hopefully he brings his gear, we'll see. If not, he can finalize that at home. And then I guess this is a new product. He wanted to prototype these. Full Access has a design very similar down in the States, but it's a lot of money and a lot of shipping to get that brought up to Canada. So I just sat on SolidWorks and designed these in CAD. They go inside, it wraps inside on the plastic, so there's a nice step.
Ooh, I like that. I haven't actually seen these in person. I've only seen them in video so far.
We also did a cutout right here, and this is for a high lift jack or a farm jack, whatever you want to call it. You put the foot in here and you can jack up the whole side. So if you need to work on a shock or you need to change a tire, I think he wants to bring a jack with him. Some people will never use that. Some people will love that. You could even hook the winch in here if you had to pull someone or whatever.
Oh yeah, fair, good
Having a hole there is useful. And then we toss the logo on it and they wrap completely underneath and they bolt through into the factory skid plate with some stainless button heads underneath. So there's 6 mounting points on these. They are fully welded inside and out, laser cut and CNC formed out of 1/8 inch steel plate.
And while I'm down here, you can get a really good look at the skid plates here.
And yeah, it's full skid plates.
Front to back, right?
Front to back, yep. Except like the very, very front, there's not,
Yeah.
but yeah, covers everything that he wanted.
Pretty sweet. So when's my set showing up?
Now that the prototype is done, I'm gonna do a couple little tweaks, make them fit even that much better. And Mason already knows that. This was the prototype. And then we're gonna do a production run, get these on the website, be able to sell them to other people that want them, especially Canadians that don't wanna pay to bring stuff up with the dollar and the shipping and the brokerage. I think a lot of people will like this instead of having the tube. So he did have the factory tube steps before on it, and like one ride he had them dented and scratched and he just didn't really like them. And they're really thin, like you can't really see here, but this is thinner than 1/8. It's about 65 thou thick. So 1/8 is 125 thou. So those are twice as thick as a factory Cowie step, rocker, guard, tube, slider, whatever you want to call it. It's twice the thickness. And yeah, these are light, like there's nothing to them. So if you actually go rock crawling, these will get all smashed. So it's a nice upgrade. And being smooth on the boat side, on the side of them, it acts as like a ramp to slide on or pivot on a rock or slide on a tree. Or And they don't stick out too far for getting in and out, but you can stand on them. So they came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them overall.
I really like them.
And then this is the fourth cage I've done. Every cage I've built has been different. Everyone's had a different height, different gussets, different roof design. So this one's, again, different. And this is the first one we had sent out for powder coating. He wanted it to match as close as possible to the factory paint.
It.
We put a high gloss finish on top of the powder just to give it that extra pop. It's got a lot of metallic in it. It looks really nice. And then a satin or semi-gloss 063 thick aluminum roof, bead rolled on the edge. And we're using good friends of ours, TMR Customs. They have these nice washers out of aluminum, billet aluminum, that just give the finished product a nice look. I also put a mount on the roof inside for
I did see this. I really like
it's
that.
for an 8-gang switch. It's probably pretty dark in here. I have to get a flashlight. But he wanted to have an 8-gang up there, and he's going to wire it. The wires are zip tied along the back and go behind the seats, and that's for all the relays and fuses and everything.
And I think the first thing he did when he upgraded or started upgrading the Kawasaki was he went for his seats. So these have been in here for a while.
Yeah.
He has these, which we just ordered a set of because they're sweet.
Yeah, these are in stock here now at D3.
Yeah.
PRPC covers.
Yeah, they saved our butt in the snow for sure. Then he got the steering wheel with a quick release there.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a Dragonfire quick release.
Yep.
And he's got the full access shifter. I think it's full access shifter. I also did a synthetic winch line for him, so there's the factory cable, just so you can have it back. The shocks we already talked about. I also, while it was here, this is a 23, it's a brand new machine. It's got 300 kilometers on it roughly, like 2 tanks of gas. So while it was here, it's a common issue that the rear shafts get stuck in the trans. So he said, just pull the rear end apart. I put a bunch of moly grease in there. Actually, I can show you. It's my favorite grease. We use it on all the race cars and everything. It's made from RCV Performance, also in stock here. You will not get water to wash this stuff off. You put this on your fingers, it is so like sticky and tacky and stretchy. So I just pop the shafts out, smear this around, put a bit inside on the diff gear or the spool, throw the gears back in. Good to go. So he won't ever have the problem of the snap ring rusting and the dirt getting under it because it is packed right full with nice moly grease. It's high temp grease. It's made for CVs. It's in my opinion the best on the market. AMSOIL makes another nice grease, but I prefer it for the pivot joints, and I prefer RCV for driveline parts. It's just a personal preference.
Sweet.
So that was also done. He's got Milwaukee pack-out stuff, so he's going to carry a bunch of gear. I think he's also looking for a spare tire to put up top here on the top.
And he hasn't done 35s yet. Is he keeping?
Stock tires, stock
Yeah.
rims. I don't know
That's
what
next. Imagine this thing with a nice set of 35s and rims. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know what's next for him, what his goals are. He wants to do a long endurance race. If you guys watch Adrenaline Junkie, he did the Dakar Rally in Ontario. It's like 600 kilometers in one day. It's a long event, and he wants to do that this summer, so he wanted everything outfitted and set up for a nice plush ride. So the shock tuning is dialed for trail riding. If you do want to get crazy and send it off jumps, you can turn the clickers in. But for a long day with the seats and the shocks, he'll be super cozy in there. And the steel skids will keep him safe. Stock tires, he won't break anything. He should have a flawless day. He should be able to go all day and have a good time.
Perhaps a win it?
Hey, which?
He might win it.
He might win the race? Yeah, I don't know. Depends on how good he is.
I think a Cowie came in second last year.
Yeah, a lot of
Adrenaline
it.
Junkie came first in the side-by-side class, and then I think a Cowie came second.
Yeah. A lot of it depends on how good you are at the GPS, right? Your
Yeah.
co-driver, you're
I think that's the
calculating
hardest
where you're
part.
going, what corners you're missing and stuff. So if he's good at that, then he has a good chance for sure. Because it's not a speed race. It's follow the map, follow the cookie crumbs, and do the trail. And it's not challenging. There's no crazy rock crawling or anything. It's just a long day. It was like, what was that guy's day? It was like 20 hours driving or something.
I want to say almost 24.
Yeah, like, no thanks. But yeah, if you want to do that, by all means, I'll be sitting around the campfire having a beer and you go have fun.
Yeah, so I think it turned out pretty sweet. And yeah, I can't wait for my skids and side, like the boat sides to come in because I'm kind of hard on my machine.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And the plastic skids that come with it they don't cut it. It's you're going to cut through them. A couple rocks in Ontario, we have a lot of rocks, so
Yeah.
skids are definitely, I think, super, super important.
A good upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I'm on the fence about full steel skids because he didn't want the UHMW, the hard plastic 1/2 inch, it's like industry standard.
Yeah.
Because you can still bend it and warp it, so all the metal above it will still bend and warp.
Yeah.
But it's very slippery. So when you do land on it on the rocks, you can slide very easily on it, where steel, it's really hard, so it might still be fairly slippery.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't dent as much. So I'm on the fence. I want to see how this works for him
Yeah.
before I say this is a good product for everyone to throw on their KRX versus the full plastic setup.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plastic weighs, but we know that adding full steel skids, rockers, and a cage added 200 pounds to this. So the skid plates might be 45 pounds or 60 pounds, and then the rockers are 60, and then the cage is 60, 70. So
Yeah.
it's not a crazy amount of weight just for the skids.
No.
The plastic might be 15, 20 pounds, so a 30, 40 pound difference,
Yep.
but I don't know which one will slide better on the rocks. So
We'll find out.
yeah.
Seems like he puts it through its paces, so.
Yeah, for only a couple kilometers on it, he's got the side of this has been caved in already. All the stickers are ripped off. He's missing powder coat on the top of his A-arms. I don't know how he did that. He's got dents all underneath the bottom of it. So, yeah, he drives it. He does use it. Yeah.
Sweet.
So he should be here any minute,
Yeah.
and then we'll go over it with him and get him set up and loaded, and then he'll be headed back eastbound down the highway. All right, guys. So Mason just showed up to pick up his ride. So we figured we'd do a little walk around with his first impressions and his own opinions on the cage and the rockers and the shocks and everything he thinks now that he's here. So check her out, buddy, now that you came to grab it, and let's see what your thoughts on everything are.
I really love the color that they went with for the cage. It's close to the factory color, but I like it more. The factory one was pretty cool, but I just love the depth of this color.
They did a really nice job.
Yeah.
That's the first time we've got something powder coated like a cage. All the other ones I spray painted, and that looks really, really nice.
It does look really well. I like these, the rockers, and I really like that we can toss a jack in there. That was a request I made.
Yep.
So we can jack the thing up by the side, change kind of NASCAR style, change 2 tires at once if needed. Or
Mel and I were just talking about that too. You could even hook the winch hook in there if you had to like use it to pivot on something, or like it might be strong enough. We'll have to see. They are a prototype. We're learning from these, but we want to make these into production model, and a lot of people could benefit from them.
Yeah, then this is something that has been missing in the KRX market.
Yes.
'Cause everything else has been Nerf bars, but there's never been protection under here. Mm-hmm. And coming from Jeeps and having a 4-door JK, the rockers were always vulnerable on them.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's pretty awesome. Got the sweet shock therapy caps and Steve's awesome shock tuning. We still got to set the preload on the shocks once we get my stuff on there, load it up.
Yep.
Other than that, it looks pretty sweet.
Gave her a quick clean. She was a little dusty.
She was, but
The mirror, your rear view mirror fits, so that worked out good. We weren't sure if it would fit on the bigger tubing because this is the stock tube was like 1.5 inches, so that worked out. And your 8-gang switch is ran back to behind your seats.
Yep.
Synthetic winch line is installed.
Yep. You did a good job in here making this look like making it look basically factory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a reason I came to Steve.
There you go. Awesome. Well, he'll go out to his truck and grab all his gear, and we'll start loading this up and getting all his shocks dialed in for him as close as we can here. And then he'll load her up and take her home and put some miles on her.
Yeah. She's going to get quite a few miles this year.
Yeah, really excited. We were talking about you doing the Dakar Rally.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I have so much stuff in my box. I'm not going to ride with all this stuff all the time, but I got a bunch of stuff for that just in case we have any issues while we're in the middle of a 21-hour ride.
For sure.
So, all right, awesome. I'll go get my shit.
Awesome.
So as you can see, Steve's sweater here, this was our last merch release, and I think it was like a year and a half ago. We will be coming out with new merch very shortly. We've been working on the computer and making some new designs, so we'll finally have some summer gear for you guys. People who've been following us pre-YouTube, you know what it's about. I think a couple like mugs and stuff too, just different things. We're gonna do new stuff for merchandise, so if you're interested, you can go to our website, check that out, get some of that. We're still waiting for a few samples, but we got some cool new designs on there, so pretty sweet. Is there anything else going? The cages are now live on the website, I think.
The Cowie cages,
Yeah, the Cowie cages are now live on the website.
And I'm working on a jig for Polaris cages so that I can build you a cage welded out without your machine here.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking at the idea of do-it-yourself kits that are pre-bent, pre-notched, and if you have a welder at home, then you can buy just the kit and you can weld it yourself at home. So there's a couple things this year in the works. Just trying to expand the business. We've done mostly Jeeps and race cars. We're getting into this side-by-side more and more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it for now.
I think so.
This won't be a long episode. The last video was like an hour. This is going to be a 10-minute video.
Here's a nice short and sweet one for you.
Yes. And then we've got some wicked trips planned this spring. So we try to get out like, once a month if we can.
Yeah.
Depending on everyone's schedule. It's tough. We're a 3-4 hour drive to go to the trails from our shop here.
Yeah.
So
you got to make it a whole weekend event.
It's a whole
to make it
weekend
worth
event.
it.
And then it takes us a week or two to edit the footage and post it up. So
Yeah.
it takes us time, but we're trying. But if you like more of the shop content, that's easy for us to do. So just leave a comment below. We can do more of the builds, more walk-arounds, more tech for like shocks or clutches or any information you guys want. I've been doing this a long time. I've got quite a bit of info in my brain. If I can help you guys at home with your programs and having your rig set up right, I'd be glad to put a video together, 10-minute video, 20-minute video, talk about some tech. Or if you want more content of us riding and rock crawling and trails and mud and everything, stick tuned and we'll get more of that this summer.
Yes. And we're hoping shortly, probably not in this video, but soon I think we're going to do a giveaway.
Yep. We're working on a giveaway with some rugged radio gear is my goal.
And possibly a shock tuning package.
Maybe a shock tuning package, we'll see.
Yeah.
We gotta see if we can get those subscribers up. So hit that subscribe button and that like button if you don't mind. And stick with us for the ride. This should be a good year. Cheers.